Hello all, welcome to my multimodal presentation on the significance of the drafting process in writing. For many undergraduates, the drafting process is a mystery. While they understand they should take an essay through multiple rounds of drafting, they often feel unsure about what they should be doing in each round of drafting. Writing, whether academic or not, involves several nonlinear stages, including pre-writing, planning, drafting, revision, editing, and publishing. In this project, I will be focusing specifically on the drafting process and its importance in getting a finished write-up. I will do this by sharing my own experiences with drafting, getting online information about drafting, interviewing a colleague student on their experiences with drafting, and drawing a conclusion that though the drafting process may look ugly and messy, it plays an important role in the beautiful end product we see and read. Drafting is the stage of the writing process in which you develop a complete first version of a piece of writing. During the drafting stage of writing, a student develops a more cohesive text and explores their topic, directed by purpose, audience, genre, and content. Before being introduced to the writing of multiple drafts by my lecturer, Dr. Timbo, I used to think that writing happens at a go, because back at senior high school, I did not have the opportunity to write multiple drafts, and that landed me with low scores because my first outputs are not always the best. But after being introduced to the writing of multiple drafts and receiving feedback from my lecturer, Dr. Timbo, my FI, and then my colleagues, I've seen improvement in the final papers that I submit. In writing my first draft, here are some helpful stages I follow. First, outline your core topic. Second, identify your audience you want to target. Third, plan with pre-writing. Fourth, make a mess and clean it up later. Do not bother about the look of the draft at the beginning. Avoid adding minute details to your draft. Start without engaging your inner critic. Don't stop to do more research. Seek appropriate feedback from faculty and course mates. In writing my second draft, I usually focus on context and structure, with a full draft of the body of your argument in place. Now it is time to craft the introduction and conclusion. For the introduction, think of the funnel. What kind of context does the reader need to see the relevance or power of your argument? How can you hook their attention? And what are the final thoughts with which you want them to leave? Revise your essay at the structural level so that each section and each paragraph contributes to the larger structure and creates a cohesive overarching argument. In my third draft, I usually focus on editing the structures of my sentences to fit into my essay. Ideally, your essay is structurally sound and strategically coherent, but you probably still have lots of loose, wordy sentences. Think lazy, fluffy house cats, where you should have sleek, powerful, hungry pumas. Find those fluffy sentences that can do more work in less space. In my final paper, I usually focus on doing copy editing. For the final stage, review your essay carefully for typos and errors. One way to catch typos is to read backward. No, seriously do it. If you read each sentence in your essay beginning with your last sentence first, then the one before that, then the one before that, you won't get caught up in the flow of the argument, which means you'll be more likely to catch those typos that you have missed over and over again as you have revised this essay.
In writing, one of the key things I consider is the drafting process. Initially back at high school, I used to pay little attention to the drafting process, and that landed me with low scores. But currently at the university, I've put in much effort into drafting my script, from reviewing, building up on initial script, and that has really helped me improve.
Why do we write drafts? Drafts help you organize your ideas into words. Standalone ideas in your head hold no value for you as a writer. It is drafts that help you give shape to those ideas in the form of words. They help you get started with an article. You can create a this only if you have a that. The way to reach a this from that are drafts. Also, you can't edit a blank page. Editing is an important part of writing. The best way to include it naturally in your writing process is to create drafts and work on them later. Zinsa once said, "Good writing doesn't come naturally. A clear sentence is no accident. Very few sentences come out right the first time or even the third time." In addition, drafts are the best way to overcome sloppy writing. Murphy's law states that if something can go wrong, it will. While a 100% article is a myth, Proofreading it multiple times can help you achieve maximum efficiency before you hit that publish or submit button. Refining a draft is the easiest way to go about this. In doing my multimodal project, I went through a series of drafting in arriving at my final product. It is interesting to note that very few writers truly understand what they are doing until they've done it. Writing is not a rapturous experience for most of the writers I know. Almost all great writing starts with a terrible first draft. You must begin somewhere. Begin by scribbling something on paper. This is what I believe about writing.